For a Good Life by Natalia Maslin. Fade in. Interior hockey arena, day. A whistle sounds and a AAA Pee Wee hockey play stops. Center forward Ben Ellis takes in the game and players intently. Although skilled and observant, Ben looks young for his age. Ben looks up to the scoreboard as he skates to the end zone face-off circle. There is 1 minute left to a tied game. In the near-empty bleachers, parents cheer on the players from both teams. Behind them is a row of banners. The last one reads, Pee Wee AAA Champions 2016. Ben looks to his opponent, then down to the face-off spot, past the twitching stick of the anticipating player. He takes a deep breath and calmly waits. The puck drops. Ben pushes the player's stick away and easily takes the puck and carries it down the ice. Keeping his head up and controlling the puck, he spots an open wing and smoothly passes it to them. They make the goal as the buzzer sounds. Ben and the rest of the home team celebrate their win. Interior hockey arena later. Morgan Ellis, 30, nervously waits for Ben outside the change rooms. Keeping her distance from the other parents, she exchanges strange smiles. She looks exhausted and withdrawn. Ben comes out excited and Morgan rushes to his side, taking his hockey bag. She gives him a hug. The hug is more for herself than Ben.
Mom, it was like I was able to see everything seconds before it happened. Did you see? Did you?
I did. You did great, Ben. We need to get going.
He frowns, disappointed with Morgan's unenthusiastic reply. He looks around as Morgan quickly leads him out of the rink.
Where's Ryan? I thought he was coming to watch.
Apprehensively, Morgan looks behind her.
Change of plans, buddy.
Exterior hockey arena continuous. Morgan gets to her car and puts his hockey bag in the trunk on top of other packed bags. Ben notices and looks to Morgan unsure. She flashes him an apologetic smile.
We need to go up north for a bit.
Something wrong with Uncle Tim?
He's okay.
Will we be back in time for the game on Tuesday?
Morgan opens the car door and tries to usher him inside.
Will we?
Ben.
I need to...
Please, get in the car.
Ben gets in, frustrated.
Where are we going?
Granddad's.
What?
Morgan closes the passenger side door. Interior, car, day. At a drive-thru, Ben watches Morgan wait for their order. She catches him looking and strains a smile. Ben bristles and looks out the window. Interior, car, evening. Ben stares out the window as the countryside passes him by. They drive past a sign that reads, Welcome, City of Kawartha Lakes. Morgan's phone rings. Ben looks to it. The caller ID reads, Ryan. Morgan silences the phone without taking her eyes off the road. There are 5 missed calls. Exterior, house, night. Morgan's car winds down a long driveway and comes to a stop. There's nothing to see in the darkness. The porch light only illuminates the older house. Interior, car, night. Ben peers out, staring at the house. Morgan shuts off the engine.
You lived here?
Yeah.
How long are we staying?
Come on, you should meet your grandfather.
Morgan gets out of the car, Ben follows. Exterior, house, night. Morgan walks up to the door with Ben at her side. She takes a deep breath and knocks.
Mom, you didn't answer me.
I don't know, Ben.
Ben gets irritated as Bill Ellis, 58, swings open the door. The former Parks Commissioner has a genuine smile and kind eyes, but his tanned, weathered face and limp make him look older.
Morgan, I wasn't expecting you so soon. I thought...
Bill's overcome with emotion. Morgan steps up and gives him a hug. Ben watches the exchange.
Hi, Dad.
You're here. Home. I can't believe...
I missed you, Dad.
Bill pulls away, teared up and happy. He takes a long look at Morgan before he looks to Ben with a big smile.
You must be Ben. You look much bigger than in the pictures your mom sent.
Hi.
Ben is distant, but Bill doesn't take notice and ushers them inside.
Come on in, make yourselves at home.
Interior, main room, continuous. The interior is one open space decorated by a woman in the late 90s, but a single man's lifestyle has taken over. Ben cautiously examines the space. Bill becomes self-conscious of the slight mess.
Sorry, it's a bit of a mess.
It's fine, Dad.
Despite the assurance from Morgan, Bill limps around the living room, straightening up. Morgan looks to Ben ruefully. Interior, Ben's bedroom, night. There are shelves filled with DVDs, CDs, and video games. Posters from the mid-2000s fill the empty space on the walls. Morgan makes the bed while Ben takes in his new room. He peeks in a cabinet and finds a bomb. He grins and glances to Morgan.
Why weren't Uncle Justin's things packed up?
I don't know.
Morgan shakes out a bed sheet.
Grab an end.
Ben goes to help.
Granddad's really nice. I didn't think he'd be.
Why would you think that?
Uncle Tim.
Morgan shakes her head at the comment and finishes making the bed. She gives the room a look over and kisses Ben on his head.
Don't stay up too late.
Morgan walks to the bedroom door.
You and Ryan broke up.
We did.
What did you do?
Morgan's disappointed with Ben's anger and accusation.
Nothing. I'm not talking to you about this.
That's not fair. You can't just do that. What about me? What about hockey? I can't let my team down. Just because you and Ryan broke up doesn't mean that
That's exactly what it means, Ben.
It's not fair. You can't do this. What about hockey?
I'll figure something out.
Right.
Morgan struggles seeing his disappointment and distrust.
I promise. Good night, Ben.
She rushes out of the room, leaving Ben miffed. Interior, Morgan's bedroom, night. Figure skating medals and trophies are scattered throughout the room along with pictures of friends and family. There is a memorial card sitting on the dresser with a picture of a teenage boy. It reads, Justin Ellis, 1987 to 2004. Morgan enters and rifles through her bag and clothes. Her cell phone rings. She ignores the phone and undresses, revealing fresh bruises and scratch marks. She changes into a long-sleeved shirt and pajama pants and slumps into her bed. Finally, having respite from being mom, Morgan begins to cry. There's a knock on the door. Morgan quickly sits up and wipes her tears.
Yeah?
Bill pokes his head in.
Just wanted to say goodnight.
Seeing Morgan's state, he frowns.
Morgan, are you?
Morgan shakes her head and attempts not to cry, but fails. Bill rushes to her side to console her. Interior, hallway, continuous. Unnoticed, Ben stands at Morgan's door and watches Morgan cry. He quietly returns to his room, panged with guilt. Interior, Morgan's bedroom, morning. Ben knocks on the door and sticks his head in.
Mom?
Morgan's in bed, awake, with her back to the door. She closes her eyes and feigns sleep. Interior, hallway, continuous. Bill comes out of his bedroom and pulls Morgan's door shut. He ushers Ben downstairs.
Let your mom sleep some more. Come on, I'll make you some breakfast.
Interior, main room, morning. Bill limps around the kitchen preparing breakfast. Ben, tired of waiting around, puts on his coat and shoes.
I'm going outside.
Mind getting the paper? Top of the driveway.
Ben leaves without a word. Exterior, house, morning. Ben steps onto the front porch and takes a look around. The daylight reveals a sea of bare trees and a lake. Visible through the trees is another house. As he makes his way up the driveway, he takes notice of the creaks and snaps of the trees amplified in the silence. Exterior, driveway, morning. Ben reaches the top and picks up the newspaper. A pickup truck pulls into the next driveway. RCMP officer Adam Marshall, 31, steps out of the pickup in uniform and grabs his paper. He gives Ben an inquiring look.
Hi.
Hi.
Where'd you come from?
Next door.
Bill's?
Ben nods.
I'm Adam, his neighbor.
Ben. His grandson.
Adam looks confused.
You're one of Tim's kids?
Morgan's.
Adam looks down the driveway towards Bill's house, stunned by the reply.
Morgan's here?
You know my mom?
Yeah, a while ago. I'll see you around, Ben.
Adam gets back into his pickup and waits as he drives down to his house. Interior, main room, morning. Ben and Bill sit at the table eating their breakfast.
Cavs? Really?
They win games.
But the Leafs, this is their year.
To lose their first round in the playoffs.
Oh, come on.
Bill's attention turns to Morgan coming down the stairs. She looks tired, but manages a bright smile.
Morning.
At the table, she gives Ben a kiss on the head. He's still a little annoyed with her.
Hi.
I saved you a plate.
Bill goes to stand.
I'll get it. Thanks, Dad.
Morgan goes to the kitchen, pours herself a coffee.
I'll be going to the grocery shopping later. Let me know if you two want anything.
I can go.
Do you know Adam from next door?
Adam?
He moved back a couple of years ago.
The reply causes Morgan to pale, and her eyes grow wide with panic.
Does he...
I don't think so. Not my place.
You know what?
Morgan is speechless as Ben looks to her for an answer.
That I was expecting you to.
Morgan startles at a loud knock on the back door.
That'll be Jack.
Door swings open and Jack Lynn, 65, comes in. He's a big jovial man.
The compressor isn't where he's... Morgan?
Hi, Jack.
Morgan gives Jack a quick hug.
When did you get here? Why didn't you tell me?
I was keeping it a surprise.
Well, this is a damn good surprise. How have you been?
Great. Yourself?
Good, same old. That your boy?
That's Ben.
Ben gives him a slight wave from the table, but Jack steps forward and gives him a firm handshake.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
You too, Jack.
Jack grins, impressed by Ben.
Stay for breakfast.
Jack turns back to Bill.
Gotta get going. Nathan's waiting for me.
Air compressor should be in the workshop.
Where in the workshop?
Under the tarp.
It's not there.
It's gotta be there.
Well, it's not.
Well, it didn't walk out on its own.
Ben watches Bill and Jack before looking to Morgan, who's biting back a grin. She catches his glance, and Ben frowns at her. Morgan looks away.
It must have.
Bill gets up and grabs his coat in a huff.
I'll show you that it didn't, Jack.
I'm telling you, Bill, it did.
Bill and Jack head out the door.
Bye, Jack.
Jack turns before he closes the door.
It's good to see you home, Morgan. We'll catch up soon.
Jack!
Bye, guys.
The door shuts and Morgan starts to clear the table.
You knew that we'd be coming here and you didn't tell me?
Ben leaves, frustrated. Exterior, workshop, morning. Morgan walks across the driveway to the workshop.
Dad?
In here.
She sticks her head in and finds Bill tinkering with the snowblower. Interior, workshop, continuous.
Is there anything else you need?
Whatever's on the list.
Morgan looks to her father. He waits for her to talk.
How is he?
Who?
Morgan gives him a serious look.
I can't believe he came back.
I can't believe you came back.
Bill gives her a reassuring smile. Exterior, workshop, continuous. Ben walks up to the workshop. He's out of view, but catches the rest of the conversation. Interior, workshop, continuous.
Morgan, I know you said staying here wouldn't be permanent, but maybe you should consider it.
Ugh, I need a job, Dad. I can't afford to...
Dr. Welland's hiring. The job's yours if you want.
Dad.
Think about it.
Ben comes into the open door. Morgan nods to Bill before turning to Ben.
Ready?
I'm not going.
Ben storms off towards the woods. Morgan hesitates.
Take some time to yourself. You'll be fine.
Morgan looks uneasy.
He's never been like this with me.
Give him time.
Exterior, woods, day. Ben's cheeks are red from the cold. He hits a stick against the trees and rocks as he walks back to the house. He approaches a rundown treehouse and stops to look at it. A sudden loud noise from an animal startles him. He looks around, but sees nothing. He hurries off. Exterior, Adam's house, day. There's a repetitive thud coming from Bill's property. Adam goes out to inspect and finds Ben playing street hockey. He's hitting the ball aggressively and continuously against the side of the shed.
Hey, Ben.
Ben stops and looks to Adam. Waving him over, Ben trots over with his hockey stick. Adam goes into the garage and pulls out an old hockey net.
I have a feeling this might work better.
Ben flashes him a huge smile.
Thanks.
No problem.
Ben puts his stick on top of the net and Adam helps him carry it over to Bill's driveway.
You play?
Not as much as I'd like to. I coach a little.
I'm on a AAA team. I was.
Was.
I think we're staying.
Adam looks to Bill's house with a concerned expression.
Bummer. I promise it's not so bad here.
Ben shrugs. Adam takes the opportunity to divert the conversation.
AAA? You plan on making it a career?
Of course.
Impressive. You up for a game?
Yeah.
Interior, car, day. Parked in front of the grocery store, Morgan sits in silence, staring at her bruised arms. Her phone rings, startling her. She answers reluctantly.
Hello?
Jesus fuck, Morgan. Where the hell are you?
Interior, office, day. Tim Ellis, 40, sits at his large desk surrounded by paperwork and photographs of his family, scowling. Intercut, phone conversation.
Tim, I told you we're fine.
Where are you?
We're safe. Ryan,
He's worried. I'm worried. What happened?
nothing. I don't want to see him.
Morgan.
I mean it.
Fine. You won't. Now that you've heard what you wanted to hear, tell me where you are.
There's a pause. Morgan builds up some courage.
I'm at Dad's.
Tim gets angry and slams his hand on the desk.
Fuck, Morgan. Why? He's a...
Morgan hangs up, shedding tears. Interior, main room, evening. Ben's on the couch watching TV, bored. Morgan's in the kitchen preparing dinner. She studies him.
Ben?
Ben keeps his eyes glued to the TV.
How would you feel if I enrolled you at school here?
I'd hate it. I like my school, my friends, my team. I don't know why you're asking if I don't have a say.
Ben looks at her bitterly. Morgan joins Ben on the couch.
Ben, I want everything that you want. But sometimes things get screwed up and...
You're forced to eat shit.
Morgan bristles a little, but nods sympathetically.
I'd rather start school sooner than later.
Morgan gives him a weak smile and a kiss on the head before she goes back to the kitchen. Ben remains cold and goes back to watching TV.
Set the table, please.
Ben side glances to her, unimpressed with the request. He takes a moment to motivate himself for the grueling task. Interior, workshop, night. Bill and Adam examine the snowblower.
Looks like the shear bolt broke. Easy fix. I'll pick one up tomorrow.
Thanks, son. I really appreciate that.
Morgan pokes her head in.
Dad, dinner.
She catches sight of Adam and immediately diverts her gaze. Adam keeps his on Morgan, surprised.
Care to join us, Adam?
Adam catches Morgan glowering at Bill and awkwardly returns his attention to him.
Sorry, I can't. Got some work to catch up on.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
Bill gives Morgan a pointed look as he leaves.
Hey,
Adam smiles, Morgan frowns. She doesn't know what to do.
it's been a while.
A while?
I'm so sorry, Morgan.
I need to get back.
Yeah, of course.
Morgan goes to turn.
Oh, Ben.
Morgan bristles.
What about them?
He mentioned he played hockey. I helped coach a team here. We'd be happy to have him.
Morgan looks down, her expression pained. After a moment, she nods. Interior, main room, night. Ben finishes setting the table when Morgan comes in, flustered. Bill looks to her, concerned.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Morgan goes to the kitchen to get the rest of dinner, trying to brush off Bill's concern. Ben watches her, but gets distracted when Morgan's phone starts to vibrate. The call display reads, Ryan.
You sure?
Yes. Go wash up.
Ben discreetly takes the phone off the table, answers it, and hurries upstairs. Interior, Ben's bedroom, night. Ben walks in and closes the door behind him.
Ryan? You still there?
Still here, Benny. How are you? Where are you?
I'm good. Mom doesn't know I'm talking to you.
I figured. Listen, has your mom mentioned what happened?
You two broke up? Is that true?
I really don't know, Benny. I need to talk to her. Where are you staying?
I don't know. I don't think
Come on, Ben. Tell me.
Ben frowns and becomes suspicious.
I need to go.
Where are...
Ben hangs up the phone and stares at it. Interior, main room, night. Morgan and Bill are in the kitchen when Ben comes downstairs with a guilty expression. Morgan studies him and spots the phone in his hand.
Ben?
He called. I wanted to talk to him.
Morgan stands in place, frozen with fear. Bill looks between them and rushes towards Ben. He grabs the phone out of his hand.
This is your mother's phone. You have no...
I know! I'm sorry!
He knows where we are.
Don't worry about that, Morgan.
I swear, he doesn't. He asked, but I never told him. He wanted to know. I didn't tell him. I swear I didn't. What did he do? You can tell me.
Morgan shakes her head, trying to keep herself together.
Ben.
Ben gives Bill a scathing look and storms upstairs. A few moments later, the door slams shut. Bill, worried, looks to Morgan. She avoids his gaze.
I'm sorry for all this.
Interior, Ben's bedroom, night. Ben's bouncing a hacky sack with his hockey stick in his bed. There's a knock at the door. Ben looks up, but stays quiet. Bill enters.
Ben.
Ben turns and slaps the hacky sack into a pile of clothes.
I didn't mean to yell at you.
I know. It's fine.
Bill shakes his head.
I wish you'd leave your mother alone.
What did he do?
Bill takes a seat at the desk.
I don't really know, but I'm taking her lead. You should too.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Ben shakes his head in disbelief.
Have you ever seen your mother make a rash decision?
Ben looks away, slowly shaking his head. Morgan watches a school bus drive off of the main road when a car approaches at the top of the driveway. Morgan recognizes it and she turns to walk down the driveway, ignoring it. The car follows her, the driver's side window coming down. Tim is sitting in the driver's seat.
Has Ben on that bus?
Morgan doesn't reply.
I didn't think this was permanent.
What are you doing here, Tim?
I wouldn't be here if you weren't avoiding my calls. What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
You're being ridiculous.
Exterior, house, morning. Morgan nods to the house. Tim hasn't realized he reached the bottom of the driveway. He looks to the house reluctantly.
Go home, Tim. Unless you want to come inside and talk about it.
Fuck. I thought we both agreed that...
No.
Tim huffs in defeat and begins to reverse to get back up the driveway.
Stop ignoring my calls. You owe me that much.
Tim drives off. Exterior house later. Morgan sits on the steps of the front porch, conflicted. Bill comes out with 2 mugs of coffee and sits down beside her, handing her one.
Took me a moment to recognize him. I don't remember the last time I saw him.
Justin's funeral.
Don't remember much from that time.
Bill looks away, remorseful. Interior, hockey rink day. Ben's on the ice, running warm-up drills with the rest of the team. He's already built a rapport with some of the players. He glances over to Morgan, who's looking in Adam's direction. Adam's distracted by 2 single mothers coyly talking to him. Morgan immediately looks away when he catches her staring and puts her focus back on Ben. She waves at him and Ben goes back to his drills. Adam approaches Morgan.
Ben's a natural,
Morgan stares onto the ice.
He loves the ice.
like his mom. You teach him?
Morgan nods.
Remember how we used to spend hours here?
Morgan slowly turns her head to him, unsure of what to say. The whistle sounds.
I'll see you after.
Adam goes back to the players' box. Morgan looks upset as the players return and she watches Adam talking to Ben. Interior, main room, night. It's late. Morgan's on the couch folding laundry. There's a knock on the door and she goes to answer it, checking the window first. It's Adam. Taking a deep breath, she slowly opens the door.
Sorry, I realized it was late after I knocked.
It's fine.
There's an awkward beat.
We
Thanks
didn't
for-
get... Go ahead.
Thanks for doing that for Ben. I didn't know what I was going to do. He misses hockey. His team.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad I could help.
Morgan gives him an awkward smile.
I'm glad you're here.
Morgan gets frustrated.
What do you want, Adam?
We were friends. I missed you.
Justin was your friend.
Morgan,
You dropped me when you moved.
It wasn't like that.
Blocked email and phone. Don't act like we're old friends and it just drifted apart.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Morgan falters for a moment.
You left. And I have no idea why. I tried everything to get in touch with you.
I know. You sent that letter and...
Then you sent it back.
And I shouldn't have.
Pained, Morgan shakes her head at Adam. He steps forward, an automatic reaction to comfort her, but stops himself.
Morgan, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I should go. If you need anything.
Morgan watches him walk away, conflicted. Interior, Ben's bedroom, night. From his open bedroom window, Ben has seen and heard their exchange. Exterior, dock, day. Curled up in a blanket, Morgan drinks a coffee and looks out to the lake from her Muskoka chair. Adam approaches tentatively to take in the lake view with her. Morgan acknowledges his presence.
This is why I'm here half the week.
After everything that's happened here, I didn't think I'd want to stay, but looking out on all this...
Because this is home, Morgan.
Morgan reluctantly agrees. Adam clears his throat.
Come over for dinner?
Morgan is caught by surprise. Interior, Adam's house, night. Morgan nervously looks around Adam's newly renovated modern home with a glass of wine in her hand. Adam's at the kitchen counter prepping dinner, glancing over to her.
You sure you don't need help?
I'm sure.
Morgan takes in the fireplace.
I hardly recognize this place.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know.
Morgan continues to look around. She finds his RCMP badge on a side table. She reaches for it, but doesn't touch it.
You did it.
Yeah.
She feels his stare. He turns and finds him smiling.
But,
You haven't changed.
oh, I have. Sometimes wish I hadn't.
Adam's smile falls.
What brought you back?
I needed the peace and quiet. Work can get a little much.
Morgan sits down on a bar stool across from him.
You seem like you really have it together.
Seem is being the operative word. What about you?
Morgan unconsciously pulls on her sleeves.
I didn't really have a choice. I put my chips on a relationship that didn't end up going anywhere.
Adam notices her fidgeting and looks to her, concerned.
What happened?
Morgan shakes her head nonchalantly and feigns a smile.
Nothing. We drifted apart.
Adam tries to catch her gaze, but she avoids it. He frowns.
Morgan, That night when we were together.
Please don't.
I meant everything I said.
Morgan stands up and shakes her head anxiously.
I panicked. I got scared.
Panic because you slept with your dead best friend's sister?
What? God, no. Why would you even think that?
Well, I had nothing else to go on, Adam.
It wasn't my intention to leave you.
Please stop.
I'm trying to explain.
To make who feel better?
You!
I think I should go.
Morgan turns and rushes to the door.
Morgan.
Adam silently reprimands himself as he follows.
Look, I'm sorry.
I know. You keep saying that.
Morgan struggles with her boots. She doesn't bother with her coat.
Morgan.
Morgan rushes out the door. Interior, hockey rink, day. Morgan and Bill sit in the stands watching Ben play. She's determined not to look over at Adam and keeps her eyes on the game. Ben is in his element. He scores a goal before the game goes into the next period. Giving in, she quickly glances at Adam. Morgan finds him looking to her with a rueful smile. She returns a tentative one. Interior, hockey rink, later. Morgan waits near the exit for Ben and Bill. Adam approaches her.
Hey,
Adam!
Both turn their heads to Jessica, a stunning realtor in heels, rushing towards Adam.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Adam redirects Jessica out of earshot from Morgan. Morgan watches Jessica present Adam with some papers.
I figured I'd catch you here. I had the papers drawn up.
About that, I need a few more weeks.
Jessica follows Adam's gaze and spots Morgan. She smiles.
I think I get it. That's the girl from the picture.
Adam gives her a boyish grin.
She is.
You haven't told her about your plans with the house?
No.
Jessica nods in understanding. She crosses out a few things from the contract and pens in a few other things.
Beginning of next month, then. Initial at the changes and sign here.
Thanks, Jess.
Adam takes the proffered pen from Jessica. Bill and Ben join Morgan and watch the exchange.
Who's she?
A friend of his. We need to get going.
Bill looks to Morgan, concerned. She shrugs it off and they head towards the door. Adam hands everything back to Jessica. She signs it herself and hands Adam a copy. Adam's eyes follow Morgan as she walks towards the parking lot. He looks to the signed papers regretfully. Jessica catches his expression.
I won't hold you to it if you change your mind. Good luck, Adam.
Take care, Jess.
Adam runs out after Morgan. Exterior, hockey rink, continuous. Morgan rushes for the car. Bill struggles to keep up with his limp, and Ben struggles with his bag.
Morgan.
Morgan pretends not to hear him, but Ben looks back, giving her way.
Go talk, Morgan.
Bill takes the car keys from her.
I'll start the car.
Dad.
Come on, Ben. You can tell me how you managed to get the winning goal.
But Bill leads Ben away from Morgan. Ben looks back and catches sight of Adam approaching Morgan.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
I want to apologize for last night. It was supposed to be dinner and not...
It's fine, Adam.
That wasn't my intention.
Morgan's distracted by watching Jessica bracing the cold and rushing to her car. Jessica gives him a quick wave.
I didn't know you were involved.
She's a friend.
Morgan's skeptical. Adam looks a little guilty.
She was a casual friend. She's helping me out with some work stuff.
Put off, Morgan nods.
I need to get going.
I was going to ask if you guys wanted to go get a pizza before I head back to town.
I can't. My brother roped me into dinner.
Adam looks a little sore and disappointed with the mention of her brother. Morgan frowns.
Maybe when you get back?
Adam nods, smiling.
When I get back then.
Morgan awkwardly smiles back and tries to go.
Your dad has my number. Call me if you need anything.
Okay. Stay safe.
You too, Morgan.
Interior, car, day. Morgan gets into her car, flustered. Bill and Ben look to her.
Everything okay?
Of course. Get your seatbelt on.
Interior, Tim's dining room, night. Holly, 38, Tim's wife, sits across from Tim at the dinner table. Tim and Holly's daughter, Chloe, 14, and son, Alex, 12, sit at the table with Ben and Morgan. Chloe and Alex eat their meal, ignoring the tension between Tim and Morgan. Ben curiously looks between them.
Ben?
Ben startles and turns his attention to Holly.
So, how's the no hockey going?
Must be pretty hard.
Ben shakes his head, glancing to Morgan.
I'm playing. You are? Adam, one of my coaches, got me on the team. He lives next door and saw me playing.
Adam Marshall.
Tim eyes Morgan harshly.
Yeah, it's select, but
You should be playing rep.
I like it. I have a lot more ice time. I'll be on rep next season.
Yes, you will. I'll let Coach Marks know that there's a family emergency and he'll be back soon. We worked hard and we don't want to lose that spot.
But
Morgan quietly exchanges a glance with Ben, and she shakes her head, indicating that won't happen. Ben goes back to eating dinner, keeping his head down. Interior, Tim's dining room, later. The table is cleared and the kids have left. Holly, Tim, and Morgan are having coffee.
I spoke with Ryan a few times since you left him.
Morgan becomes guarded.
I don't want to know, and you shouldn't be talking to him. I know you two drifted apart. He knows that too, and wants to try and work things out. I think you leaving him was a good wake-up for him. You still love him, don't you? I don't. I never did. Please don't talk to him or mention him to me.
Morgan gets up from the table and storms out. Holly looks over to Tim silently, pleading with him. Tim relents and gets up to follow Morgan. Interior, hallway continuous. Morgan puts on her coat. Standing at the bottom of the stairs, she calls out to Ben.
Ben, time to go.
Morgan.
Morgan ignores Tim as Ben comes downstairs.
already?
She gives him a weary smile.
We have a long drive home.
Go finish up the game. I still need to talk to your mom.
Ben looks unsure.
We'll head out in 15.
Interior, garage, night. Morgan sits in a canvas chair as Tim paces in from her. She's trying to collect his thoughts, and she's getting impatient.
What the hell is going on with you?
I don't want to get into it. I don't want him in my life anymore.
This isn't about Ryan. The guy can be a bit of a prick at times. Why are you back there? Out of all the places.
It's home.
Which was a nightmare for you when Mom got sick and Dad started drinking.
Dad's?
A drunk. And Adam?
Dad's been sober 12 years.
He's an alcoholic. If he starts drinking again...
I'll leave.
And what about Adam? Does he know?
Tim jerks his thumb to the door. Morgan shakes her head.
Please don't tell me you want to get back with him.
Morgan looks down at her shoes.
Morgan, you two were kids. Teenagers. The time for that has passed. You're a different person now, and God knows he's not worthy of you.
Morgan shakes her head and wipes at her eyes. Interior, house, day. Ben enters and kicks off his shoes. With his backpack, he goes directly to the large desk that's tucked away in the living room. Interior, house, later. Ben's doing his homework. He rifles through his backpack, looking for something. He doesn't find it, begins going through the drawers. In the bottom drawer, Ben finds an open shoebox filled with loose papers, newspaper clippings, and photographs. He pulls it out and begins to shuffle through it. Interior, house, later. Ben has gathered all the photographs and goes through them. The photographs consist of old family photos when Morgan was a child. There are pictures of the three siblings, with a young Tim looking visibly older than Morgan and Justin. Ben puts the photographs down and picks up a newspaper clipping. It reads, "Teen dies from fall." Ben reads the article. Local university-bound teen succumbs to injuries on Sunday evening. Days before leaving for university, 18-year-old Justin Ellis and Adam Marshall entered Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park late Friday night. Specific details are not clear, but an initial investigation by OPP deemed the incident an accident. Ellis was found in critical condition. Marshall, with minor injuries, was released from hospital Saturday morning. Family members were unavailable for comment. The door opens and Bill comes in.
Your mother called. She'll be late tonight.
Ben scrambles in surprise and tries to put everything away, but Bill is already at the desk. Bill picks up a photograph of himself with his park ranger's uniform with his wife. He looks at it with a sad smile.
See this? That's your grandmother.
I thought that.
You can't tell, but she was pregnant with Tim in this picture.
Ben takes the picture from Bill and looks at it.
I never knew you were a park ranger.
Bill slowly puts the contents of the box back inside. Ben notices a slight pause in Bill's movement when he picks up the newspaper clipping.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
Do you miss it?
Maybe, if I wasn't living here.
Bill manages a weak smile and stores the box back in the drawer.
I should get us something to eat.
Bill heads to the kitchen.
Granddad,
Yep.
Ben looks hesitant.
was Adam responsible for what happened to Justin?
No.
Bill looks up to find Ben waiting for him to elaborate.
Justin was a smart boy, but he was reckless, and there was no stopping him. He had a bad fall. Hit his head. Adam tried to save him, but...
Bill's emotions slowly start to get the better of him. He shakes his head, shaking them off.
I never blamed Adam for Justin's death.
Bill gets back to preparing dinner. Interior, hockey rink, evening. The team looks exhausted from their drills during practice. Lined up in pairs, Ben and his teammate Carson prepare to go next. His eyes drift over to the players' bench, which is empty. The coach sounds the whistle.
Ellis, what are you waiting for? Go!
Ben scrambles to get his footing and quickly moves forward to catch up to Carson.
Good. Carson, Ellis, don't turn into the sidestep. Full stop.
Ben and Carson come to a stop before their sidesteps. They finish the drill and skate back to the back of the line.
Good job, man.
The coach blows the whistle for the next team. Ben, catching his breath, keeps looking at the empty players' bench. Interior, house, day. Back from school, Ben pulls out the hockey net onto the driveway and starts playing. Adam's pickup pulls into the driveway next door. Interior, pickup, continuous. Adam watches Ben. Exterior, house, continuous. Ben waves to Adam as he gets out of the truck and gets back to playing.
Up for a game?
Ben grins. Interior, house, later. Adam and Ben are still playing. Adam puts real effort into protecting the net from Ben. Ben, with some quick stick handling, managed to get past Adam and scores on him. Adam is genuinely impressed.
How'd you get so fast?
Ben grins, pleased with himself. He shrugs and collects the ball for another play.
Practice.
Adam tries to steal the ball from Ben, but with little success. He tries again.
When the lake freezes over, I'll flood it so we can get some real ice time in.
Ben looks up, beaming.
Really?
Yeah, really?
Adam uses Ben's distraction, takes the ball off him.
Hey!
Hey, what? Pay attention.
Adam scores a goal on him. Interior, car, evening. Morgan comes down the driveway and sees Adam and Ben having fun playing hockey. She looks heartbroken watching them. Taking a deep breath, Morgan gets out of the car with a bag of groceries. Exterior, house, continuous.
Hey, Mom.
Ben gives Morgan a quick hug and takes the bag from her.
Did you have a good day?
Yeah.
Morgan looks at Adam.
Hi.
Hi.
There's an awkwardness between them. Ben notices.
Can Adam come over for dinner?
Adam and Morgan are taken aback.
Ben, I...
Okay.
Morgan surprises herself, as well as Adam, with her reply.
Thanks, Mom.
Ben goes inside.
You're sure?
Morgan nods and follows Ben inside. Interior, main room, night. Ben and Bill sit in the living room playing chess, while Morgan and Adam are in the kitchen cooking. Ben keeps looking back to the kitchen, and Bill takes notice.
There was once a time when I believed they'd end up together.
Maybe they will.
Is that why you put your mom on the spot?
Bill indicates with his head, prepare in the kitchen. Ben frowns and shakes his head. After a moment of studying him, Bill focuses back on the chessboard and makes a move.
Checkmate.
Did you?
Ben, I need your opinion.
When Ben looks over, Morgan's waving him over. Adam stands beside her, looking smug. Curious, Ben saunters over. Morgan points to a pan of simmering pasta sauce.
This is Adam's recipe. Try it and tell me if it's better than mine.
Ben grins and takes a spoon offered by Adam.
Be honest.
Ben has a taste and ponders a moment.
And?
Give him a minute.
Yeah, Mom. Give me a minute.
Would you like another taste?
No need. Mom's is better.
Told you.
Ouch.
It's my secret ingredient. Thank you.
Morgan kisses Ben on the head.
Now go set the table.
A bit miffed, Ben collects a stack of plates.
What's the secret ingredient?
Not telling.
Maple syrup.
Ben!
Ben shrugs and Adam laughs.
You're serious?
Works.
Morgan goes back to cooking while Adam watches her with a warm smile. Bill takes in the interaction of the three bittersweetly. Interior, main room, later. Ben furiously does his homework at a cleared dining room table. Morgan and Adam keep him company. Ben gets distracted by them chuckling, looking over to them when he can.
I still can't believe Justin managed to saran wrap the principal's office on grad night.
At least it didn't ruin our first date.
Morgan looks puzzled and laughs.
We never dated.
Then what would you call it?
My brother's best friend being nice to his kid sister because she missed her dance.
Adam's visibly hurt by the reply. Ben lifts his head and watches them.
You really think that?
Morgan avoids eye contact with Adam and nods.
I thought...
Adam shakes his head, confused. Morgan catches Ben studying them.
Bedtime, buddy.
It's not that late.
It's late enough. I should be getting back.
Both of them stand up. Morgan clears the mugs from the table.
Take your stuff upstairs, Ben.
Good night, buddy.
Night, Adam.
Ben collects his homework and heads upstairs. He stops at the top to watch quietly. Morgan follows Adam to the door. He puts his coat on. As Morgan reaches to open the door, Adam turns to her. They're unexpectedly close to each other. She looks up to him, unsure. He regards her, strokes her hair. Morgan anticipates a kiss from him, but then he steps back.
What happened? We can fix this. I want to fix this. If you can give me the chance to trust me again.
Morgan breaks eye contact with him. Adam takes her reaction as rejection.
Good night, Morgan.
Disappointed, Adam leaves. Morgan closes the door and leans against it, pained. She catches Ben at the top of the stairs.
Bed!
Ben's footsteps are heard above, going to his room. She walks to the kitchen and finds Bill at the laundry room door, looking concerned. He witnessed their exchange.
Please, Dad, not now.
Morgan,
If he can't see...
it's your obligation.
He carefully watches Morgan, waiting for a reply.
I need to make sure Ben brushed his teeth.
Bill looks defeated. Interior, Ben's bedroom, day. Ben's sitting on his bed, watching a small TV. On the screen, a figure skater performs a program to an empty arena. It's young Morgan, 14. Bill knocks and opens the door.
Time to get ready for the game.
Ben scrambles to stop the video, but Bill steps inside the room to watch.
That was the last program she skated.
Ben looks to Bill curiously.
She came in fourth because of the fall. But when everyone left, she skated the best she ever had.
Bill sits down in the chair and both watch the video together. The camera with the video shakes a little.
You're seriously taping this? Come on, let's go.
In a minute.
She's done.
I said it in a minute.
A few moments later, young Morgan finishes her program. The camera zooms in on her. Adam cheers from behind the camera, the only voice in the arena. Morgan smiles brightly before skating off the ice. The camera turns off. Bill stares at the blank screen, anguished. Ben looks to him sympathetically. Interior, hockey rink, day. Ben's on the ice with the team. The scoreboard shows a tied game and is counting down to the final seconds. The buzzer sounds and the game goes into a shootout. The teams skate off to the players' boxes and the coaches make their selection.
You good to go last?
Ben nods while drinking from his water bottle.
Yes, Coach. Carson, you're up first.
Adam stands behind Ben while he waits his turn.
You got this, Ben?
Ben grins and nods, but keeps his eyes on the other team's goalie. The players from both teams are unsuccessful in scoring. It's Ben's turn. He skates to the center line and collects his puck. He skates towards the goalie straight on, moving his puck forehand. At the last minute, Ben makes a backhand shot and scores the winning goal. Morgan and Bill cheer from the stands. Ben skates back to the player's box and gets cheered on by the team and coaches. Adam pats him on the back. Interior, hockey rink, later. Ben comes rushing out of the change room and finds Bill and Morgan waiting for him.
What a game!
Adam joins the three.
It was. Mom, can I stay the night at Carson's house? His mom said it's okay.
I have no way to pick you up tomorrow. Granddad won't be around and I...
Mom, please.
I'm home tomorrow. I don't mind picking him up. Maybe I can get us some ice time.
Ben quickly turns to Morgan. She's hesitant.
Please?
Morgan, it's up to you. But I really don't mind.
Morgan nods reluctantly. Interior, hockey rink, day. Adam and Ben have the rink to themselves. Adam has been running drills, practicing stick handling and speed. Ben, out of breath, takes a break at the boards. Adam joins him. Both look like they've had a workout.
Why did my mom stop skating? She was really good.
Adam grins, reminiscing.
She was phenomenal. But she didn't like competing.
Ben frowns, disappointed by the reply.
So that was it?
She still skates, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Ben goes back to the ice.
We should get her out here on the ice sometime. I bet she'd skate circles around us.
Adam follows him back out, casually passes a puck to Ben. Collecting the puck, Ben skates around Adam before he passes the puck off to him.
You love her, don't you?
What?
Adam's caught off guard and the puck goes right past him.
My mom.
Ben.
Satisfied by the reaction, Ben grins sheepishly and propels himself forward to get the puck. Adam watches him, taken aback by the conversation. Exterior, Adam's house, day. Ben hops out of Adam's pickup and walks over to the tree line of the woods, sipping his drink from Harvey's. Adam, collecting items from the truck, watches Ben looking into the woods.
Want to check it out?
You don't mind?
Come on.
Exterior, woods, day. Ben and Adam walk along naturally made trails, leaves crunching beneath them. Ben carries a stick in his hand and lightly hits it over trees and rocks.
My mom.
Adam's interest is piqued.
What about your mom?
She's different when you're around. I mean, I don't know what I mean. She's just different than before.
Before what?
Ben shrugs. Adam waits patiently for Ben to gather his thoughts.
It's a good thing, though. I like hearing her laugh like that. Why did you leave?
Taken by surprise again, Adam clears his throat.
I listened to someone that I shouldn't have.
Who?
Doesn't matter. What matters is that I got scared.
Ben looks to him in a mild state of disbelief.
You? Scared?
Adam gives Ben a rueful smile.
You know how the coach tells you not to overthink? I overthought.
Ben looks up to Adam, appreciative before he walks down a path. They come to a gully. Ben spots the outline of his old cabin. Adam looks to the gully and cabin, his face ashens.
We went too far. We should head back, Ben.
What's that cabin?
An old ranger cabin.
Can we go check it out?
It's getting late. Maybe another time.
Adam leads Ben back in the direction they came from. Despite his disappointment, Ben complies. They walk silently together for a bit.
Adam,
Yeah, Ben.
would you be able to coach Bantam next year?
I thought you liked me coaching you.
I do, that's why I'm asking.
That would make you...
13 in June. You thought I was younger, didn't you?
Adam slows his pace and continues to frown. He's quietly doing the math and increasingly becomes upset. Ben, walking beside Adam, doesn't pick up on his mood.
So, can you?
Can I...
Coach Bantam hockey?
Yeah. I'll look into it.
Interior main room, day. Morgan's rushing around, straightening up the living room. Bill's sitting on the couch folding laundry.
Ben!
Morgan goes through the basket of clothes that still needs to be folded and picks out some clothes for Ben.
Ben, come on, I need you to get dressed.
Ben comes downstairs. Morgan holds out his clothes.
I'm not going.
Ben, don't do this.
There's a knock on the door. Bill goes to answer it.
There's a game on tonight, and you promised I don't have to go when there's a game.
Why didn't you let me know?
Adam comes in looking apprehensive.
Hi, Adam. Aunt Holly knows it's just you.
Morgan looks to the door.
Hi.
Too distracted by Ben, she quickly turns her attention back to Ben.
What? How?
Bill studies Adam curiously.
She called.
The house?
Your phone.
Frustrated, Morgan grabs her phone off the table and looks through the call log.
Ben, I told you.
I know, but she called twice.
You know I can't go alone.
Take Adam with you.
Adam looks to Ben on hearing his name. It looks like he hasn't been paying attention.
What?
You go to dinner with Mom at Tim's, and I'll stay home with Granddad.
Ben.
I don't think it's a good idea. Your uncle...
Tim needs to get over himself. Go. I'll watch the game with Ben.
Please, Mom. Hockey, then bed. Promise.
I need a buffer.
Morgan turns and looks to Adam. Adam looks away, unable to make eye contact with her, but he nods, accepting her request. Interior, Tim's dining room, night. Morgan, Holly, Adam, and Tim sit at the table with full plates. Morgan refills her glass nearly to the brim with wine. She takes a large sip, and the entire table looks to her.
What? I'm not driving tonight.
Tim turns his attention back to Adam.
Why the RCMP?
He always wanted to join.
Tim gives her a look. Morgan looks down and pushes food around her plate.
Where'd you go to school?
Queens.
What degree?
Psychology.
Tim snorts.
Morgan was supposed to go, but that never happened.
Chose not to. Should I remind you of the conversation we had?
Tim looks between Morgan and Adam.
Please do.
Adam focuses his gaze on Morgan, waiting intently for a reply. She flushes and stays quiet. Tim clears his throat.
What department?
Slightly disappointed, Adam turns his attention back to Tim.
What? Oh, security.
Nice, safe desk job.
Not exactly.
The doorbell rings. Tim looks to Holly. Holly shrugs. Neither make a move to get the door. The doorbell rings again. With a huff, Tim gets out of his seat.
I'll deal with it.
Tim leaves the dining room.
How's Ben doing?
Adam's attention turns to Morgan again. He seems to be waiting for an answer to a question that hasn't been asked.
He's...
Morgan pauses and frowns, focusing on the voices coming from the hall. Tim's voice is heard, along with a voice that belongs to Ryan Mercer. Morgan becomes alarmed when she recognizes the voice and begins to panic.
Did you?
She points to the hall. Holly shakes her head and becomes worried.
Tim will deal with him?
What's going on?
I need to go.
Morgan gets up, pulling the napkin from her lap. She puts it on the table and accidentally knocks over a glass of wine. Adam stands up with her and reacts to the spill.
Morgan?
The voices in the hall get louder. With growing panic, Morgan looks for a way out, but she's trapped in the dining room.
Hey,
Adam gently touches Morgan to get her attention, but she recoils in fear.
I need to go.
Morgan?
Morgan starts as Ryan desperately storms into the dining room. Tim tries to stop him, but Ryan shrugs him off.
I've been looking for you.
Morgan backs away from Ryan. Adam instinctively moves in front of Morgan. Holly gets up and timidly backs away.
Morgan, I'm sorry, I promise.
you need to leave.
Ryan looks over to Adam, livid.
Does it look like I'm fucking talking to you?
Gaining some confidence, Morgan steps forward.
Let's talk then.
Ryan's gaze darts over to Morgan. He looks hesitant.
This is a private discussion.
Not anymore.
Ryan steps back, worried by her reply.
I was upset, I'm sorry.
For which time?
Tim looks between Morgan and Ryan, concerned.
What did you do to my sister?
Adam turns to Morgan.
Morgan,
Morgan begins to cry and shakes her head.
what did he do?
Adam flashes a hard look at Ryan. Morgan pushes up the sleeves of her shirt to reveal the residual bruising in her arms. There's a gasp from Holly. Adam looks to Morgan, mirroring her anguish and shame. Furious, Tim lunges at Ryan and throws a punch.
You're fucking dead.
Adam quickly pulls Tim off Ryan and keeps him from getting at him again. Ryan staggers back with a bloody lip.
You'll pay for this, bitch.
Ryan storms out of the room. Seconds later, the front door slams shut. Tim shrugs Adam off and turns to him, pissed off. Adam backs off.
What the fuck?
Morgan slumps into a chair, dazed and broken.
Why didn't you tell me?
Tim!
Morgan gets up from the chair. She pushes past everyone to get out of the dining room.
I need to go.
Morgan runs off.
Morgan!
Tim turns to go after her, but Adam places a hand on his shoulder to stop him. Tim sharply faces him. Adam stays calm, but subtly indicates to Holly, who's upset.
I'll get her home safe.
Exterior, Tim's house, night. Morgan's outside, pacing the driveway and stifling her sobs. Adam comes out with her bag and coat. He places the coat over her shoulders. Morgan buries her face into his chest, crying.
I wish you never left.
Adam holds her, pained with remorse. Interior, Adam's pickup, night. A tense silence fills the car. Adam looks over to Morgan, conflicted. He wants to say something. She's piecing herself together, wiping at her face while staring out the window. Interior, Adam's pickup, later. Adam pulls into Bill's driveway and parks the truck.
Do you need a few more minutes?
He looks over to Morgan, but she's shaking her head and looks worried.
Dad's car is gone.
She bolts out of the pickup. Exterior, house continuous. She slams the truck door and rushes up the front porch. Adam keeps pace with her.
He knows better. I told him I didn't want him driving Ben. He knows this.
Interior, house continuous. Morgan storms into the house and finds Ben sitting on the couch watching the hockey game.
Hey, Mom.
Morgan rushes to him, gives him a hug and a kiss.
Are you okay?
Yeah? You're home early?
Where's Granddad?
Picking up pizza?
He left you home alone?
Mom, I'm okay on my own.
Adam steps forward and places a hand on her shoulder to keep her calm.
Morgan, Ben being alone is not what this is about.
Don't.
Ben looks to Morgan with concern.
Mom, are you okay?
Of course.
Bill comes in, carrying a pizza box.
Hey, how was dinner?
Adam shakes his head and gives Bill a warning look.
How could you leave him on his own?
He's old enough, Morgan. I wasn't even...
You don't decide that. I do.
Ben becomes anxious from arguing. Adam's the only one that notices this.
Don't yell at Granddad. I told him I'd be fine.
Morgan,
Morgan ignores Adam.
Ben, you need to go to bed. Now.
No!
What's gotten into you?
Nothing.
Morgan!
What?
Adam indicates to Ben with his head. She looks over to Ben. He's staring at her in disbelief, clearly upset. Morgan catches herself and begins to cry.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Come on.
Adam offers his hand and she takes it. Bill and Ben are left stunned at Morgan's outburst while Adam leads her upstairs. Interior, main room, night. Bill and Adam talk quietly while Adam prepares a cup of tea and keeps glancing over at Ben. He's sitting on the couch watching TV.
Did Tim say something to her?
Ryan showed up.
Ben frowns when he hears Ryan's name. He pretends to watch TV, but he's straining to listen in on the conversation. The boiling kettle is dampening his efforts to listen in.
She never told me what he did. Did she mention anything?
Adam's unable to reply, shaking his head and upsetting Bill.
What did he do to my girl?
The kettle whistles. Adam side glances to Ben. Bill looks over to Ben, who seems to be mesmerized by a television show.
Hey, buddy, it's after 10. Don't you have school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Come on, then.
Ben gets up off the couch and turns off the TV.
Stay. Make sure she's all right.
Adam nods and takes a mug of tea. Ben follows Adam upstairs. Interior, hallway, continuous. Ben stops at his door and looks to Adam for answers. Aware of what Ben wants, but conflicted, Adam gives Ben a small, strained smile and pats his shoulder.
Good night, buddy.
Ben bows his head, disappointed.
Is she okay?
She's had a bad day.
So she'll be okay?
I have no doubt.
Ben nods. Adam watches with a guilt-ridden expression as Ben slips into his room and closes the door behind him. Taking a moment to steel himself, Adam moves down the hall and comes to a stop at Morgan's door. He knocks, lightly, before entering. Interior, Morgan's bedroom, continuous. Morgan sits on the bed, showered, changed, and listless. He leaves the door ajar and sits beside her, passing her the mug.
Thank you.
Ben, he's in bed.
I hope he's not upset with me.
He's not. Why didn't you tell anyone?
Morgan shakes her head and nervously drums her fingers on the mug.
Remember when you used to sneak in here when my mom was sick?
Adam nods. There's a brief silence between them as Adam restrains his frustration at Ryan and himself.
You know what I'm gonna say.
I'm not pressing charges.
You have 3 witnesses who saw him threaten you. You have the marks.
Adam,
He's dangerous.
Morgan shudders with a fresh wave of tears. Adam embraces her in an attempt to soothe her and calm himself. She leans into him.
How long, Morgan? Was Ben...
he never touched him. Ben can't ever know. He trusted him. I don't want him to realize people like him were close to him. If I press charges, I don't want Ben involved. I can't do that to him.
Interior, hallway continuous. Ben sits by Morgan's bedroom door, listening to the conversation, stunned and upset at what he hears.
I'll be fine. I promise. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Interior, Morgan's bedroom, night. Morgan's asleep, curled up beside Adam. He pulls away from her, covers her with a blanket. Interior, hallway continuous. Adam steps out of the bedroom and finds Ben scrambling to get up. They exchange knowing looks.
Ben.
Without a word, Ben goes to his room and closes the door. Interior, Morgan's bedroom, morning. Adam sits in a chair, exhausted from keeping watch over Morgan. With the early morning light coming in, Adam takes the time to look around her room from his seat. He finds a picture of Morgan and Ben when he was a baby. He picks it up tentatively, looks to Morgan and the picture with utter remorse. He hears a rustling outside the door in the hallway. After a moment, Adam carefully puts the photograph back and quietly gets up. Interior, main room, morning. Ben sits on the couch, dressed for school, watching cartoons. Adam comes downstairs and puts the coffee on in the kitchen. Ben doesn't acknowledge him.
Ben,
I don't want to talk about it.
if you change your mind...
I said I don't want to talk about it.
Ben's face turns red from frustration and embarrassment. He turns his head away, blinking back tears.
I just want to go to school.
All right. I'll drive you.
I can take the bus.
I'm driving you.
Ben huffs. Adam grabs his car keys and scribbles a note.
Come on.
I don't start for another hour.
I'll get you breakfast.
Begrudgingly, Ben gets up off the couch. Interior, main room, morning. Morgan comes downstairs, dressed for work, and finds Bill and Jack sitting on the kitchen table.
Morning, Morgan.
Morning.
She looks to them for a brief moment, but for the most part, she attempts to ignore them while pouring herself some coffee. She pauses at the counter to read the note. She falters for a moment before resuming her race to leave the house.
Maybe you should call in sick today.
Dad, please. I'm sorry about last night.
Don't worry about it.
Morgan nods and rushes for the door.
Have a good day.
She grabs a coat, leaves before putting it on. Jack gives Bill a sympathetic look. Interior, Adam's pickup, morning. Adam and Ben are in the school parking lot, waiting for more students to show up. Ben picks at a drive-through breakfast, frustrated.
I liked him. I thought he was nice.
Adam looks over and waits for Ben to continue.
When Mom made me quit hockey and moved us here, I was so angry with her. I'm still angry. She could have told me.
You understand why she didn't.
I hate him. You need to arrest him. get rid of him. Something.
Your mom would need to press charges for that to happen.
Can't you make her?
No,
This isn't fair.
Ben. I promise you, your mom will be okay.
You don't know that.
I do know that. She's strong, Ben. So strong. She has you and your granddad, and I will do everything I can to protect her and you. Okay?
Skeptical, Ben nods, watching a teacher walk inside the school. He opens the truck door.
Thanks for breakfast.
Ben, wait.
Adam gets Ben's attention.
You can talk to me about this. Whenever.
Ben nods and hops out of the truck. Adam's uncertain if he got through to Ben. Exterior, workshop, day. Bill and Jack carry out a large solid wood shelf that Bill built out in the workshop to load into Jack's truck.
It's ship grade, Bill. Nathan's gonna love it.
Just lift it, don't drag it.
I'm not dragging it.
The ground's uneven. Did you get the padding down in the bed?
No?
They both turn back around to place the shelf in the shed. Adam pulls into the driveway. They watch him get out and walk over to them.
I'll go get us some coffee. Morning, Adam.
Adam waves to Jack as he leaves and makes his way over to Bill, who's fussing over padding on the bed of the truck.
If you're looking for Morgan, she left for work.
He glances up at Adam and sees that he's dejected. Studying for a moment, Adam looks to him only to look away quickly without endless shame.
It reminds me a lot of you when you were a kid.
Things would have been different if I never left.
Different. Not necessarily better.
Despite being on the verge of tears, Adam's anger builds.
Don't you dare. You knew and you didn't tell me. I'm his...
What are you, Adam? You've known for a while now, haven't you? But what have you done about it? You're nothing to him right now because you've done shit about it.
Adam's in an embarrassed stupor from Bill's berating and is stunned into silence.
I don't blame you for leaving because of what happened to Justin. But abandoning her? Refusing contact? What did you expect, Adam?
I'm sorry.
Quit apologizing, grow a pair, and figure out what you're going to do next.
Interior, Adam's office day. Adam is sitting pensively at his home office desk. His paperwork laid out before him remains untouched. A thud is heard from outside. Adam looks to the window and sees Ben playing outside. He watches his son from the window with a doleful smile. Exterior, house continuous. An Audi pulls into the driveway. Ben recognizes it and cracks his hockey stick across the hood of the car before it comes to a full stop. Interior, Adam's office, continuous. Adam watches Ryan rush out of the car and lunge at Ben. Adam bolts out of the office. Exterior, house, continuous. Ryan grabs hold of Ben by the back of his coat, livid. Ben struggles to get loose.
You fucking brat.
Let go!
You're gonna pay for that.
Let me go!
Adam walks right for them. Ryan and Ben both unaware of his approach.
Stop it!
Ryan gets a better hold of Ben and with one hand raises his other. Adam grabs Ryan's shoulder and fist simultaneously. He quickly restrains him and forcefully pushes Ryan onto the hood of the car. Ben steps away from the two.
Get the fuck off of me.
Adam slams his face into the hood. Ryan cries out in pain.
Ben, get inside.
Ben turns and runs into Adam's house.
The bastard ruined my...
The word infuriates Adam and he tightens his hold for a moment.
I suggest you leave and don't try and contact Morgan, Ben, or her family.
Ryan's struck with fear, but he's persistent.
That bitch.
If you come near them again, I'll fucking destroy you.
Adam's anger is so vicious, Ryan understands it's not an empty threat.
Do you fucking understand?
Yes.
Releasing him, Ryan scrambles back into his car. Adam picks up Ben's hockey stick and smashes the headlight in frustration at not being able to do more. He watches Ryan drive off before he turns back to his house with his stick still in hand. Exterior, Adam's house continuous. Ben rushes out of Adam's house excited.
That was awesome!
You okay?
Yeah, that was so...
Never do that again. Ever. What if I wasn't here? What's stopping him from hurting you?
I'm sorry. I was angry. I wasn't thinking.
Always think before you act. Always. Especially when you're angry.
Ben nods, upset that he got Adam angry. Adam pulls him into a hug, relieved that he's safe.
Is he coming back?
No.
Adam opens the front door for Ben.
Come on.
Interior, Adam's house, day. Adam has set up a workplace at the dining room table for himself. Ben's at the coffee table, with the TV on, doing his homework. Adam's unsure as to what to do. keeps looking up to say something, but hesitates each time. The phone rings. The call display reads Morgan. Adam gets up from the table, walks toward the hall, then watches them go. Interior, Adam's office, continuous.
Hey,
Interior, doctor's office, day.
Ben's not answering the phone at home. Is he with you?
Intercut, phone conversation.
yeah, he's doing his homework.
Oh,
He's safe.
I know.
You're working late?
Do you mind?
Not at all.
I'll be home around 7. Thank you for everything last night.
Of course. Morgan,
Yeah?
Adam shakes his head.
never mind, it can wait.
You sure?
Yeah,
I'll see you later then?
yeah.
Interior, Adam's office, continuous. Disappointed in himself, Adam hangs up and turns to leave. He finds Ben standing at the door.
I don't want Mom to know he was here.
Adam sighs and shakes his head. Ben becomes distraught. He needs to protect his mom. Adam tries to console him.
Only if she asks. Please, I don't want her upset again. I don't want her to worry. And you said he won't come back.
Hey, listen to me. I won't bring it up, okay?
Ben nods, swatting at his tears, embarrassed.
You hungry? I can make you a grilled cheese.
Please.
Interior, Adam's house, night. Ben's playing a video game while Adam attempts to get some work done, but is distracted by Ben. Adam gets up.
Start a new game. I'll join you.
Lights shine through the darkened window. Ben glances up.
Next time?
I'll walk you over.
Nah.
Ben puts everything away and turns the TV off before he grabs his coat and backpack. Adam looks on, wanting to do something, but looks lost and awkward because of Ben's independence.
Thanks again for today.
No problem, buddy.
You'll be back for the game?
Adam nods.
So call me if you need anything.
Night.
Ben leaves. Adam goes up to the door and watches through the side window as Ben joins up with Morgan. Ben gives her a hug and she kisses his head. Looking up, Morgan waves to Adam and goes inside. He berates himself by lightly hitting his forehead against the door. Interior, main room, night. Ben's on the couch reading, Bill's in his chair watching the national news. Closing his book, Ben stretches.
Heading to bed?
Ben nods and lazily gets up.
Night, Granddad.
Night, Dad.
Ben goes upstairs. Interior, hallway, continuous. About to step into his room, Ben notices a light coming from beneath Morgan's door. Interior, Morgan's bedroom, continuous. The bedroom door is ajar. Morgan's on her bed looking through a box of photographs. They're mostly pictures of Ben growing up with the odd photo of him and Morgan. Ben sticks his head into the room. Morgan looks up and smiles, motioning him over.
I thought you were asleep. I was gonna turn off your light.
Ben takes a seat beside her and she passes him a photo of the two of them on a beach from a few years back.
Remember this trip?
Yeah. It's just the two of us.
Morgan gives Ben a sad smile.
It's okay, you know, that it's just the two of us. I mean, I like it here with Granddad and then Adam, but it's okay if it's just us.
Morgan pulls Ben into a hug.
I just want you to be happy.
I am, Mom.
She looks to him before hugging him tighter.
I wish I could give you more.
Interior, Morgan's bedroom, later. Bedside clock reads 4 a.m. Morgan stands at her window in her pajamas, looking anxiously out to Adam's house. His lights are on. She's fidgeting with an unopened envelope addressed to Adam. It's the letter that was returned to her. Exterior, Adam's house, night. Still in her pajamas, Morgan stands at Adam's door, knocking loudly. She's holding the box of photos. On top, the letter. Adam answers the door.
Morgan, everything okay?
Morgan's shaking her head, furious. Adam pulls her inside from the cold. Interior, Adam's house, night. Morgan paces the room, riled up.
Why did you send the letter back? Why couldn't you just read it? No reply would have been better than...
Morgan, I
really want to hate you for what you did. I can't.
She stops, frustrated with herself, and wipes away the welled-up tears.
God, I'm an idiot. I should have let you go. I should have moved on. For a while, I thought I did, but you're here, and I miss you more than ever.
Adam tentatively steps closer to her. He takes the box and letter out of her hands. She looks down to it as he sets it aside.
How Ben is with you. Didn't it occur to you? Couldn't you put together with Ben's age?
She looks to him desperately, seeking an answer.
did.
A look of hurt and disbelief crosses her face. She backs away from him.
Recently, I thought you'd tell me.
There's a flicker of anger in Morgan's eyes. Adam cups her face before she can respond.
I know you tried. I didn't listen. Morgan, what I put you through, what I missed, the shame I feel, I can't apologize enough.
Adam pulls Morgan into his arms. They hold onto each other desperately. Morgan pulls away, drying her eyes. He looks down at her, tear-stained face lovingly.
I'm so sorry, Morgan. I'm so sorry.
She stretches up and kisses him softly before pulling away. There's relief in his eyes. Needing the contact again, Adam kisses her, deepening it. Her kiss becomes more urgent. Adam pauses to look to her for permission. Morgan nods. He presses her to him, both desperate for the connection. Interior, Adam's bedroom, night. In the darkness, an alarm clock sounds. The room lights up by a bedside lamp. Adam gets out from bed and turns the alarm clock off that sits on his dresser. He looks back and finds Morgan sitting on his bed, motionless. She's wearing one of his shirts, and she's pulled it over her knees. Her eyes are fixed at nothing.
Morgan?
Work?
Adam nods and returns to the bed.
Maybe it's too late. Maybe this is a mistake.
It's not.
Morgan looks up to him, doubtful, but Adam gives her a determined look before putting an arm around her and drawing her closer to him. Stroking her arm, he sees the faint traces of the bruises. Morgan notices and pulls a blanket up to cover her arms.
What do I tell Ben?
We'll tell him the truth.
Interior, main room, morning. Morgan drinks her coffee and watches Ben eat his breakfast. He's aware of it, but ignores it while reading the comics of the paper. Bill comes downstairs and Morgan gives him a bright smile.
Good morning, Dad.
The car is heard pulling into the driveway. Ben looks out the window.
It's Uncle Tim's car.
Morgan looks to Bill apprehensively. Exterior house, morning. Tim gets out of the car. Morgan comes out and walks over to him.
You know I wouldn't be showing up unannounced and bothering you if you stopped avoiding my calls.
You're not a bother.
Yeah? How you doing?
Morgan gives him a weak smile and nods.
I mean, you look good.
Thanks.
I wish you could come to me. All I ever wanted to do was protect you.
Morgan looks away, nodding in agreement.
I didn't let you stuck here, Morgan.
I was never stuck here.
I know. This is home for you.
She gives him another weak smile, confirming his statement.
I was wrong about so many things.
I know.
Tim looks guilty.
You don't.
Tim.
Tim shakes his head and offers her a strained smile.
I better get going.
He awkwardly turns back to his car.
Why? You should come by for dinner sometime.
Tim looks to the house and swallows hard. He nods his head slightly before getting back into his car.
I'll see you later.
See you soon, Tim.
Morgan turns back to the house. Interior, house continuous. Morgan comes back inside and spots Bill standing at the window watching Tim drive off. Ben looks to Bill, concerned.
You okay, Dad?
Bill turns around and forces a smile.
Yeah.
Exterior, house, day. Bill comes out of the workshop and sees Ben returning from school.
Didn't even notice the time. How was school?
Fine.
Ben drops his bag on the porch and drags the hockey net out.
We're on our own for dinner tonight, so let me know when you're hungry. I'll be inside.
Okay.
Bill goes inside while Ben looks around the workshop for his hockey stick. He looks over to Adam's house. Interior, Adam's house, day. Ben's hockey stick leans against the wall next to the coat closet. Ben's peering inside through a window. Exterior, Adam's house, day. Snooping around the front porch, Ben finds the spare key under a seat cushion of a chair. Interior, Adam's house, day. Ben unlocks the door and steps inside. He picks up his stick and turns to leave, but he spots a light coming from down the hall. Ben ambles towards the light. Interior, Adam's office, continuous. The desk light is on. Ben comes into the room and approaches the desk. He reaches for the lamp, but his attention is drawn to the desk. He picks up a paperweight from the desk and weighs it in his hand while looking at the other items. He notices the box of photos Morgan brought over to him to give to Adam. He lifts the lid and sees the pictures of him and Morgan. Poking out from beneath is an envelope. He picks the envelope up to examine it. It's been opened. Setting his hockey stick down, he gingerly takes the letter out. He's confused as he begins to read it. A frown forms on his face before tears start to sting his eyes. He quickly and haphazardly stuffs the letter back into the envelope, knocking the box over the edge of the desk. Ben rushes out of the room upset, ignoring the scattered photographs. Exterior, Adam's house, day. Ben bolts out of the house and finds Jessica on the porch, searching for the key Ben took. He stops and stares at her, still in shock from the letter.
So you have what I'm looking for?
Dumbfounded, he looks down at his hand and watches Jessica take the key from his hand that he seems to be offering.
Are you an interested buyer?
What?
She hands him her business card. He looks to it and learns that she's a realtor. Ben walks away from her, nearly missing a step off the porch, and runs into the woods. Exterior, woods, day. Ben rushes through the woods, stumbling over roots and wiping at his eyes. He's taken the same route Adam showed him and soon comes to an abrupt stop near the gully where the old ranger cabin on the other side. Ben looks at it for some time and then proceeds more cautiously down the gully towards the cabin. Interior, cabin, day. Ben steps inside. Grimy and boarded up broken windows make the open space dim. The only bright light beams down from a hole in the roof. Ben carefully explores his surroundings. The place seemed to be taken over by kids a long time ago. A hodgepodge of rejected kids' treasures are scattered on the walls, makeshift shelves and tables. The floor is littered with debris. Stepping further into the space, he kicks a bottle out from under his feet and watches it roll across the floor until a book stops it. Curious, Ben picks the book up. He opens the cover on the brittle page and reads, "This book belongs to Morgan Ellis." A wave of anger crosses his face and he throws the book down. He turns and stomps towards the door, but then he steps on a rotted floorboard. His foot goes through and Ben loses his balance. He falls and hits his head against the wooden post, knocking himself unconscious. Exterior, driveway, evening. Morgan's car pulls up. She sees the for sale sign on Adam's property. Interior, house, evening. Bill's at the kitchen table, painting a small wooden boat when Morgan comes in.
Hello?
Bill concentrates on painting a smooth line.
Dad, would you know why there's a for sale sign on Adam's lawn?
He didn't tell you that he was transferring to Ottawa?
He's leaving?
Bill looks up and sees her alarm.
Morgan,
Why did I believe him?
stop that.
Morgan looks at him, surprised. Bill's tone softens.
Don't do that to yourself. He's not going anywhere. Not without you anyway.
You don't know.
Talk to him then and prove me wrong.
Morgan goes to the staircase, looking unconvinced.
He loves you, Morgan.
Morgan gives Bill a faint smile.
Ben, can you come down?
Ben's outside.
He's not.
Morgan quickly walks toward the front door and swings it open.
Ben!
The exterior lights have come on in the dying light. She is only greeted by silence from the outdoors. Bill walks to the door. He steps outside and picks Ben's backpack from the front porch.
He was dragging out his net to play hockey when I came in.
Morgan looks to Bill, frightened. Interior, main room, night. Morgan paces frantically, swatting away her tears with her phone to her ear. Interior, Adam's pickup, night. Adam's driving when his phone rings. He looks to it and answers it quickly.
Hey,
Intercut telephone conversation.
Ben's missing.
what?
He's gone. I can't find him.
Morgan, you need to stay calm. When was the last time?
After school, Dad said he was outside. He's never done
Morgan,
it.
he can't be far. Look through the house, top to bottom, under the bed, closets, everywhere. Then do the same at my place.
Why would he?
Call me when you're done. I'm on my way back.
Interior, cabin, night. There's a groan. Ben slowly comes to in the darkness, touching his head, hissing, but slowly manages to get himself up. His foot is still stuck in the floor. With some maneuvering, he managed to pull it out. An animal sound from outside startles him. He jumps, knocking his back into a shelf. A few of the items fall all around him with a loud clatter. Cold, he slowly gets himself up, but he can't put weight on his foot. He sits himself back down, drawing his knees to his chest to stay warm. Interior, Adam's house, night. Morgan walks down the hallway, checking the closet along the way.
Ben?
She comes to the door of the office and rushes in. Interior, Adam's office, continuous. Immediately, she finds Ben's hockey stick leaning against the desk. Approaching the desk, she freezes when she finds the photographs and letters scattered on the floor. Realization dawns on her. Interior, Adam's pickup, night. Adam's phone rings. Without looking, he answers.
Did you find
Adam has run off. He knows.
what?
He read the letter.
Adam pulls the phone away and swears under his breath. Interior, house, night. Interchange, telephone conversation. Morgan watches Bill put on his coat and boots. He grabs the keys off a key hook.
Dad, call me as soon as you can.
Just stay here.
What's going on?
Dad's driving into town. It's the only place he knows. He's not familiar with the woods.
Adam comes to a realization.
I think.
Morgan becomes very alert.
Where is he? Adam?
Wait for me.
Tell me.
I'll be there soon.
He's at the cabin. Why would you?
Morgan's face pales as she hangs up. Hearing the line go dead, Adam tosses the phone into his seat. He leans forward in the driver's seat as if the action will make him go faster. Interior, cabin, night. The cabin creaks in the wind. The moonlight from the hole in the roof casts long shadows. There's a scratching sound coming from the far corner. Huddled under old dirt-covered blankets, Ben anxiously eyes the far corner. There's a thud, and Ben starts. His reaction makes him angry. Picking up an old discarded toy off the floor, he throws it into the corner. A rabbit darts out. Ben laughs as the rabbit finds his way out. He sighs and looks at his surroundings with a frown. It's not where he wants to be. Determined, he gets up and tries to put weight on his foot. He hisses, but manages to limp a few steps towards the door. Exterior, woods, night. Carrying a flashlight, Morgan quickly but carefully makes her way through the woods. Exterior, woods, night. Ben slowly makes his way back on his bad leg. He spots a light ahead of him. Relief washes over his face, but is soon replaced with anger. He walks towards the light. Exterior, woods, moments later. Morgan spots a figure coming towards her.
Ben?
There's no reply, but Morgan rushes forward. Ben comes into the light of her flashlight. Morgan's relief quickly turns to concern when she sees that he's injured.
You're hurt.
She begins to fuss over him, but Ben shrugs her off and keeps moving forward.
He's my dad, and you didn't tell me!
Ben fights back tears. Morgan tries to calm him and places a hand on his shoulder.
You didn't tell me. How?
He shakes his head, brushing her hand off.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care, neither do I.
Don't say that.
Ben stops and turns to Morgan. Tears stream down his cheeks.
Don't say what? That my dad doesn't give a crap about me? As soon as he found out, he put his house up for sale. I thought he liked me. I thought...
Ben crumples down to the ground and cries. Morgan sits down beside him and pulls him into her arms.
He loves you, Ben. I promise you.
I don't believe you.
Morgan looks ahead into the darkness. A beam of a flashlight shines from a distance.
You don't have to.
Interior, hospital room, night. In the emergency room, Ben is partially cleaned up with a bandage on his head and a splint on his ankle. He's sleeping while Morgan and Adam sit on either side of the hospital bed. Bill is in the room with them, standing by the door. Morgan looks sullen and worried. She keeps looking over to the door whenever someone passes.
The tests are only precaution. Ben's head is just fine.
Bill steps forward.
I'll go see what's taking so long.
Morgan nods, frowning. Bill leaves.
You should have told me.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
Morgan looks away.
Morgan, I will be a part of Ben's life. A significant part if he lets me. But I want a chance for us.
Morgan Ellis?
They both turn to the door. The doctor stands in the doorway, indicating for Morgan to follow. Adam watches her go. He looks miserable, but when he looks back to Ben, he smiles. Bill returns and comes up to the bed.
How you doing?
Adam turns to him with a blank expression.
It'll work out.
Bill gives Adam an encouraging smile, but Adam looks past him with furrowed brows. Bill turns and sees Tim standing behind him.
Tim, I'll go look for Morgan.
Adam glares at him before turning back to Ben and tries to ignore Tim.
How's he doing?
He'll be fine.
Morgan said on the phone that he was at the cabin.
Adam gets up and stands his ground.
Don't put this on me. I avoided taking him there. After Justin, you don't get to blame me anymore.
I owe you an apology.
I lost 12 years with my son, with Morgan. You're sorry?
I should never have interfered. I made a mistake.
What mistake was that? Blaming Justin's death on me? Using my own guilt against me? Letting your nephew grow up without a father and let some abusive asshole into his life instead?
Tim bristles, steps closer to Adam.
I was trying to protect you. You would have left 3 years later with an excuse of feeling trapped.
I'm nothing like my father.
You're right. You're not.
Adam and Tim quickly turn to Bill. Morgan stands beside Bill, looking at Tim in shock. She heard the conversation.
Ben's head scan. He's okay.
Tim is unable to look to Morgan and Bill. He storms out of the room, brushing past her.
Tim,
Morgan looks between Adam and Bill, conflicted.
Go.
She rushes out after Tim. Bill follows her. Adam takes a deep, calming breath and sits back down at Ben's bedside, looking towards the door, worried. Ben cracks his eyes open, looking groggy.
Uncle Tim's a real asshole.
Adam hides a grin.
You shouldn't say that.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
How are you feeling?
My head hurts.
Sorry, buddy.
He offers Ben a sympathetic smile. Ben keeps a serious face.
It's not your fault.
Adam takes pause, understanding what Ben said.
It doesn't mean I don't have a lot to make up for with you and your mom.
Ben looks away awkwardly.
Do you mean you wanna be my dad?
Adam's face becomes serious.
Ben, look at me.
Ben looks to Adam, unsure.
The moment I found out I was your dad, I couldn't have been happier or prouder that you were my kid. I will always be your dad. Always.
Ben grins widely, then winces, his hand quickly lifting to his head.
Remember that feeling, son? That's what a hangover feels like.
Exterior, parking lot, night. Tim rushes across the parking lot while Morgan chases behind him. Bill is not far behind them. His limp slows him down.
Tim,
Tim doesn't miss a step.
will you stop? Please.
Tim, don't turn your back on your sister.
Tim stops and turns, furious.
Like you did on us? You don't have a say in this.
Bill takes a step back, hurt. Morgan approaches Tim.
Stop it. This has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
he bailed on us.
Morgan looks at him aghast.
We bailed on him.
Tim eyes her incredulously.
When Mom died, you left. Justin and I spent every minute we had at the rink. We lost Mom. But he lost everyone.
Don't make excuses for him being a drunk.
Stop blaming him for everything. It wasn't his fault that Mom got sick. It wasn't his fault that Justin was a shithead, and I didn't get pregnant because of his lack of parenting.
Morgan, I think it's time Tim and I talk.
Tim watches Bill move towards them. He shakes his head nervously.
I can't.
Dad's not the only one that made a mistake.
Morgan, sorry. I swear I didn't.
If you want to make things right, start with Dad.
Tim looks away and nods reluctantly. Morgan turns away and gives Bill an encouraging smile. Interior, hospital room, night. Morgan returns to Ben's room and finds Adam dozing in the chair. He looks like a tired new parent. She glances over to Ben and smiles at him. Getting onto the bed, she lays down beside him.
You should get some sleep, buddy.
Morgan looks over to Adam. Ben follows her gaze.
He loves us, you know.
Morgan looks back to Ben and nods. Her eyes tear up.
I know.
Adam wakes and looks to Ben and Morgan.
You love him.
So much.
Morgan looks up and her eyes meet Adam's. She gives him a watery smile. Fade out.